We're so excited to have this episode out with Dr. Anthea Todd. Since reading her book, What's My Body Telling Me?, we have been obsessed. Have you ever found yourself stuck in the space between?
Your body is telling you with these symptoms. We've become disconnected, we don't trust it, and then we have the little warning signs and they build up and then we don't really know what to do with them, or they might be, welcome to the space between. This is sort of like the wellness space, which has no order. Like, what do you do when you're lost in the space between?
Yeah.
You've been to the doctor, you have fatigue. They say, nothing wrong with your thyroid, you don't have an infection, your iron's fine, they've done all the tests, great. No, thank goodness, cancers.
Now what?
Where does it leave you?
There was so much information that we had to cut it across 2 episodes. Your body has never been the problem, it's always been the solution. Stay tuned to find out how.
Don't forget to hit follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you want to see more of behind the scenes with this particular episode, definitely hop over to It Takes Heart on Instagram. You may even see Sam riding a skateboard.
We care for the land and sea. We care.
So, Dr. Anthea Todd is a women's health expert with a background in chiropractics. She's a podcast host, a keen skateboarder, and best-selling author of What's My Body Telling Me? She's the founder of the Fundamentals Framework, helping women see their symptoms as messages, not problems. With a dual master's in women's health medicine and reproductive medicine, Anthea blends science, functional care, and energetic wisdom. Her Fundamentals Framework is transforming how we experience healthcare. We have so much to talk to you about that this might end up over like a part A and a part B, but welcome to It Takes Heart. Can I just say, when I started the book, I had to check because the first chapter is, my mum always says, never go straight for the clitoris. Now, my mum always said, if you tell a lie, we'll catch you out. So I feel like we had different experiences growing up. Why? What does that mean? And how does that reference to What's My Body Telling Me?
So it's I think believed, it's from John Cleese, who's like the Monty Python. So I think she didn't make it up, but she's like would use it. And she trains a lot of health practitioners. They have a chiropractic business. So she would often say to new grads starting, you know what's going on, but like don't just go straight into the patient. Like, this is what's going on. We need to do this. Like, you need to warm up the environment first.
Yes.
Same as don't go straight for the clitoris, right? And you have to get all of the different wisdom coming in.
Yeah.
And that's what it really means, is like listening in lots of different ways to what the body's actually trying to tell you, not just like, that's what it is, quick fix, just do that. It's like, actually, no, that doesn't get you the pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like texting you going, have you started yet? We got the right book.
Like I'm still on the first page.
So something that really resonated with me was when you talked about Jane early on in the book and all of the symptoms that we fix and we all
We
have
go
them.
straight to.
So, you know, you've got a headache, we jump straight to paracetamol. You've got dry skin, we're chucking moisturiser on, you know.
Scaly scalp, anti-dandruff.
Tired, coffee.
I'm exhausted. Oh, I need to wind down. I need a drink. All the things, which is that straight to the clitoris. We're going straight. We think we know what it is.
Why do we do that?
Oh, that could be an existential question, but I think we are conditioned to not be in any pain or discomfort, or we see it as a bad thing instead of seeing it as, oh, this is my body trying to tell me something. Like being curious as opposed to like run away from this discomfort. It's not good. Your body is the problem. But when we actually flip it and we go, oh, we get curious, we go, oh, actually, it's trying to tell me something. And that's where I help people listen to their body differently using those different methods. Because sometimes it's like, okay, well, for instance, with a headache and paracetamol, maybe you have a really important meeting and you cannot focus and you need to have that, great. But also you need to then consider, why did I have the headache in the first place? Like, is my body actually saying, whatever's in this meeting, I really don't want to do?
So is it that we're really busy as well and we almost have to get the quick fixes because we are going into the next meeting or we're doing something and we need to be able to be on? And
well,
so
I
we're
think,
finding the quick
Or is
fixes.
it also because sometimes those little things, if I was like dry skin, I wouldn't go to the doctor or I wouldn't think
So they're
to
subtle.
go and speak to someone about that. You just think,
Or because you think it's normal.
yes.
And we're functioning.
Yeah, because so many people have it.
That's
it's like,
right.
oh, it's the difference between common and normal. And dry skin, it's not life-threatening.
Exactly.
Like, medical doctors are amazing. You go to them if you have something that's life-threatening and you need medication or surgery
Yes.
for. And we know that subconsciously. So you're like, this dry skin, it's not killing me, it's fine. But then, like, if your skin gets really bad and it's red raw and you can't think, you can't sleep, you can't do anything with that. It's like, well, I'm going to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But maybe there was little whispers before that you missed because you thought they were normal because they were so common. So this is where we need to understand actually what the baseline of health is and like what is actually normal, and feeling amazing and having energy coming from within you is actually the norm. But so many people don't feel like that. Like if you jumped out of bed in the morning being like, wow, I'm so excited, like today's going to be amazing, and you've got so much energy, you'd be like, what is this person on? Like some people might even go, does this person have a brain tumor? Like what's actually happening? Like their person, like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how messed up society is, that it's like, oh my gosh, okay, well, if you are going to jump out of bed like that, then you better make sure that you have your red lenses at nighttime, you've done your infrared, you get up for circadian health, and make sure you don't have coffee until it's this time, and then you're eating this, and it's like looking after your body just feels like a full-time job.
It kind of does.
I can resonate with that of feeling like it's too hard to start. So yeah, and I think because that's what really I got from the book, is just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal, which has made me just kind of reframe everything we've ever experienced. Of like everyone I know is going through the same thing.
Yeah. And particularly for women, it's like, where do you get your education on what your period's meant to be?
100%.
Oh, my mum had heavy painful periods.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's normal. And you could go into the whole history of lack of research and medical fields and being gaslit and all these different things that basically just go, well, your body's the problem and we need to fix it by giving you this quick thing. Like, let's cut that out, let's give you this pill, let's do that, and that's what's going to fix it, and just be quiet. But if it doesn't show up on a test, then there's nothing wrong. It's like,
and the other thing you talk about too is that concept with the space between, where we might not feel great, and then we go and have blood tests and everything comes back and it's okay.
Yeah.
And
I remember being told, of like, I'm tired, and we did all the blood, and then you get the results. And I remember just feeling, what do you mean that there isn't a quick fix? She was like, well, you got kids.
Yeah.
You work
tired.
full time, you've got 2 kids, you're busy. That's the diagnosis.
Yeah.
You've got kids.
And then it ingrains you into thinking like, well then, but I really love my kids and I love my family and I love what I'm doing. Why do I feel so drained? Does that mean I have to give up one of them and then I can't live the life that I want to live?
But then also on the flip of that, almost hoping that there was something.
100%.
So that I could take medicine and feel better.
You want a diagnosis.
Like, how weird is that?
Give me a diagnosis. Give me the diagnosis. And that's what the space between is. The space between is where you have symptoms and no diagnosis. So like in your case where they said everything's fine. Or you have a diagnosis but no answers. So they might give you like, oh, you have chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yep.
You have fibromyalgia. You have whatever, it's like multiple sclerosis maybe. Like put any diagnosis of a chronic condition. Yeah, but why do I have it? You've given me the diagnosis. Now, if we think about how the medical field is set up, give a diagnosis so then we can put different codes in for funding and we can also give you a medication.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not saying that I'm not negating the medical system. It is amazing and so helpful when you need it. But if you're someone that's like, okay, I got this diagnosis and initially I felt great because I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
But then I'm left going, but why is that even happening? Like, what do I even do? Like, I don't want to be destined for a lifetime of medication because that's really what I'm being told is there. And there's no, oh, you're going to get better. It's just like, this is what we're managing and this is who you are. And then we can go into the whole psychology of, well, now you have an identity around that diagnosis and then that's fulfilling that same prophecy. So there's this whole thing of going, okay, if you have a diagnosis and no answers or you have symptoms and no diagnosis, that means you're lost in the space between. So that's where we need to look at your body through a different lens.
How do we do that? You know, when we're trying to put our trust in the medical professionals that we're seeing, but maybe, as you said, it's all having to go to a code and how to bill and it's all based on the system. What do you do?
Well, this is why I do what I do.
And you are one person.
Yeah.
You know.
The system is great for a certain type of person, but it's letting down a vast majority of people. So I started my career as a chiropractor. Both my parents are chiropractors, amazing. I always wanted to be one from when I was like 4 years of age. I found this letter that I wrote to myself in very beautiful handwriting that I could hardly make out. So I thought, this is going to be amazing. Started working, was great. I went through cycles of burnout because I was very busy and all the different things. But I realised I'm like, okay, I get these people that are coming in with, say, hormonal migraines or heavy periods or gut issues, can't sleep, dry skin, insert the symptom.
Yeah.
And they're not something that you typically go to your chiropractor for. Like, you're not going to your chiropractor for dry skin.
They're also what you said earlier, they're little whispers.
Yeah. But as a chiropractor and from my upbringing, my mentality has always been, what's your body trying to tell you? Like, we would be I mentioned in the book, like we'd be driving down the main street of Melbourne, and my parents would be like, that person, what's going on with them? And you'd be like, they've got an L5 nerve root lesion, I've got a foot drop here, and they've got this. It's like, okay, like, bring me another case. Like, I'd love it. Yeah. 4 of my 5 siblings are chiropractors, and 1 isn't, so we obviously all sort of liked it.
That's hilarious. We're playing Spotto in my car.
We did do that too, I Spy, all the things.
They progressed.
Diagnose the person.
But I found that I was like, okay, there's these people that are lost in this space between, because they would come in with these issues and I'd say, okay, I'm going to do what I was trained in and I'm going to refer you to your medical doctor to go get tests done. We have to see whether you're iron deficient or what's happening with your thyroid or all these different things. And the majority of times people would come back and say they said there was nothing wrong. And I would see the look of defeat on the patient's face and I'd be like, well, I know that there's something going on and you know, but I don't have answers for you. I need to figure this out. And then it's like you're listening to podcasts, reading books, trying to figure it out. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go study medicine. I'm going to study that because I was living in a country town in Victoria and I thought, well, maybe, we don't get like the biggest and brightest medical people down here. Like it's not like a sought after place that you want to go work at. Yeah. So maybe they just don't know what they're talking about, which is that's not at all the case. They're very, very bright and smart. Yes. But when I went and studied on the medical side, it made me realise, just the whole system's broken. It's these people are so incredible and amazing. Like if I was bleeding persistently and I couldn't stop it, and yes, I needed to address why that was happening, but for the time being I need to stop it, absolutely. Like I need to go see someone that can give me a medication or a surgery to do that. That's great. But what I learnt from that side was that what I was taught is, oh yes, these are the parameters for this diagnosis. If they don't fit that, then there's no issue. Or they need to consider seeing psychologists. Like it's in your head in a way. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
No, and that's awful to experience.
But I was like, it was just a really like, okay, like I get to see both sides, like how I was trained as a chiropractor and like the innate wisdom of the body and how amazing it is and how what we do is we basically remove interference so then the body can function how it needs to. And then on the other side, the undertone was, okay, we can help people when they're really bad in this case, but then if they don't need us, then there's nothing wrong. But really it's sort of like, well, we don't actually want to need you unless like we've been in an accident or something. Yes. So this is where societally, like you could go into so much detail, but I think having medicine as the pinnacle and like the top thing is like, yes, they will always know, I think is dangerous because if you've had a car accident, absolutely do not go to your chiropractor, do not go to your naturopath. That is a dumb decision, right? Go to your medical doctor. But it's like, if you have fatigue, tiredness, and your doctor says that there's nothing wrong, it doesn't mean there's nothing wrong. It means you saw the wrong person. It's like when you're building a house and the toilet's clogged. You don't call the painter.
Yeah, you need to go to a specialist.
The painter's amazing, the plumber's amazing, but we need to understand who we need when. And I think that's where the system lets us down, but also we let ourselves down because we're not listening to our body and trusting it.
And we're probably not having enough conversations, though, like this that would encourage someone to listen to their body. Yeah. Because that's a really different concept, even the older generations. Yeah. Toughen up and off you go and move on or have a lie down, all those things. Like it's a really different
medical
concept.
profession, do they know
well, it's hard,
as much about this? And is it part of...
Are they open to this?
Is it part of the degree and is it,
Not necessarily, no.
Because I've spoke about nutrition with doctors in the past, just family friends and, barbecues and things. And
well, it's not what they're trained in. It's sort of like saying to a plumber, well, how would you paint that architrave and do this? They'd be like, I can sort of tell you because I've been around it, but like, tell me how to plumb a toilet in. Okay, great. Yeah. So it's knowing who the right person is at that time. Like you want someone who is going to be able to care for you when you need them in that space. And I think it is also the pressure put on medical doctors too, like from a societal standpoint of, well, you have to know the answer.
Fix me.
So then if you're like, okay, well, I have to find the answer, and if if I am always the one that knows the answer and I have to uphold that image from society that's been put on me, and I've done all the tests, I've done all the things that I've been trained in, there's nothing on there, it must just be that there's nothing wrong because I'm the one that always knows. Not that they necessarily internally have that, but they might internalise that pressure from society. So there's a lot of this misconstrued perceptions on this person is going to tell you exactly what it is. But really what I try and do and help people with is, your body is telling you with these symptoms. It's been telling you all along. It's just we've become disconnected, we don't trust it, and then we have the little warning signs and they build up and then we don't really know what to do with them, or they might be, welcome to the space between. This is sort of like the wellness space, which has no order. Like, what do you do when you're in the lost in the space between? Yeah. You've been to the doctor, you have fatigue. They say, nothing wrong with your thyroid, you don't have an infection, your iron's fine, they've done all the tests, great. No, thank goodness, cancers.
Now what?
Where does it leave you?
And then you're like, okay, cool. ChatGPT, naturopath, chiropractor, osteo, Chinese medicine. Like, and it's all amazing. Like, I'm not saying that,
but
like, we need that.
It's
from a consumer perspective.
It's like, where do I go? Okay, but someone told me it was my gut, and like, do I need to do a detox? Or it could be a parasite that I picked up in Bali, and it could. What about mold? Is it heavy metals? Yeah. It's like, holy shit, I have fucking whiplash. I don't know if you can swear on this, but literally,
whiplash is exactly it.
It's So
So if someone's listening and they go, all right, well, I'm in that space, what do they look up for? Who do they see? Is it a doctor that's something like, what is the specialty that they should be looking for?
And this is exactly where I found myself when I was both personally, but also after I'd studied the medical side. I was like, okay, I'm missing a gap here.
You were in the space between.
I'm missing a gap. I'm like, okay, I've learnt that side. That's really great. I love now that I know, okay, when someone hits these things, they need medication or surgery. And I know that now, not like, oh, I'm a bit foggy. Is it just that their GP doesn't really know and I need to refer them to another GP, or they actually just don't need the medical side? Then I was like, okay. So then I went and studied functional medicine. Like, okay. Because often most people, when they're lost in that space between, might go, I need to go to see an integrative doctor. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of friends now that are like, oh, do you know an integrative gynecologist, an integrative GP, an integrative? I'm like, everyone should be freaking integrative.
Like, so can you explain functional health?
Yeah, so functional health, that's sort of like the other lens that I do. So I use this framework for anyone that is feeling lost in the space between. I use this fundamentals framework, which is what I've put together from all of my study across the fields. So basically, you have an issue and it might be something that is like really causing a lot of distress for you. So it's not necessarily the dry skin. It might be like, it's the dry skin that keeps me up at night and I can't stop scratching and all the things, right? So we might go, okay, well, I'm going to go see the doctor. It might be a new thing that's out of the ordinary, or it might be something that's been there and it's not going away and you're like, oh, I'm just a bit concerned about this. You go see the doctor. They run the tests. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. We actually want there to be no diagnosis from them, because if there is, then they go, okay, well, your symptoms are bad enough to need medication or surgery. So we don't want that, ideally, particularly when we're talking about chronic things. And then we're lost in that space between. So then we use the functional lens, and this is where it's, who do you see, the naturopath, the Chinese medicine, all the things. This is where we become in control of our own health. We're the decision maker. We're not like, oh my gosh, I'm just flying at a whim of my Instagram algorithm and trying all these different things. So
imagine your algorithm. So sorry, but I was just like,
so much more is accessible now. Like this, that's actually a really good point, because it's flooded with all that. How is no, do it this way. No, don't eat carbs. Yes, eat carbs. Don't eat protein. Like
the amount of things you send me that do this, do that. Yeah.
So this is why we come back to the fundamentals. So what I learned from the functional medicine side is it's amazing, but also you can get like specialties in that. Like you could specialize in the microbiome, you could specialize in endocrinology, you could specialize in like we're being integrative, because we're looking at basically functional is we're looking at all the systems and how they tie in together. Yeah. Like what does your physical body actually need? That's what we want, because that's how it functions. It's sort of like, how does your car function? Yeah. Well, we need to make sure that the car has everything it needs to function. So that's the same with your body, and it can be overwhelming, because you're like, okay, well, maybe it is, do I need to look after my thyroid, or what about my sleep, or is it my gut function, or what's happening with all stress, right? And then you're stressed thinking about what the hell to do.
And then that makes you stressed. I was like, I'm stressing about this.
So this is where I came up with the 4 fundamentals to help with that, because what we're doing is we're not going into, okay, it's the thyroid or it's my adrenal glands or it's my gut, what are all those things made of?
Yes. So what can you talk us through those? So you've got
What are
four
four fundamentals?
as
Yes.
part of the framework.
Yes. So all of those components of your body are made of cells. That's it. So I just want you to think of, okay, if I could give my cells exactly what they needed, and this comes back to your body literally is the solution, not the problem. If you can give your cells exactly what they need, then you move out of the body's way and knows what to do. So those 4 things that it needs is to balance your nervous system, metabolism, nutrients, and blood sugars. So those are the 4 fundamentals. When you can care for them, the body has what it needs, the cells have what they need, so then everything works in unison. Because sometimes, and your Instagram algorithm might be filled with, do this vagal nerve reset. Everything's to do with your nervous system. It's all to do with your nervous system. Everything is that. Don't worry about anything else that anyone else is saying.
Yeah.
Then you might have it with like, it's fasting. Everything is fasting. Or it might be like glucose goddess.
Yeah.
Everything is blood sugars. It's light. Everything is light. It's like, actually, your cells need these 4 core things because they all interact with each other. You could be Gandhi and like the coolest cucumber, so chill, so calm, your nervous system is so regulated. You have lots of distance between your stimulus and response. Amazing. But what happens if you're inside all day, haven't ever seen any sunlight? What happens if you're not hydrated properly?
So you can't just focus on one.
Yeah, I was
You
just
have to have all 4
Yeah.
because they all impact each other. What happens when you're stressed? Your body goes, we better mobilise fuel to be able to combat whatever this stress is. It might be that you have a stressful meeting. It might be that you haven't slept well. It might be that there's a literal tiger in the corner. So your blood sugars go up. That is literally what our body does to adapt. So our body is always adapting. We want that. But when we support all 4 of them together, that is when our cells have what they need. Because we could be missing one and the other ones are adapting to try and compensate for that one. Or sometimes you could be missing all 4. You're not supporting them.
Yeah, and if you are missing all 4, to combat that
start?
overwhelm, like where do you start? Can you pick one? Can you chip away at one?
Yeah. Well, that's often, this is where since launching the book last year, I've been working with patients with this and I'm seeing what works and what doesn't work. Because some people are like, I'm full in gung-ho, give me everything.
Give me all the things. I feel like that
Sounds
would be
like
me.
you.
I'd be
Yes.
like, let's do it.
Which is, I'm like, I could only do
you'd
one
be
right now.
Just drip feed a few.
So with behavioural change and how our brain works as well, we need to do things that are sustainable because a lot of the times when you're like, give me everything, yes, I'm like pumped up, this thing that I've been feeling, I'm so annoyed, I'll do anything to change it. And then what happens a year later?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so it's about having your life, your fundamentals are balanced in your life. It's not something, again, that feels like a full-time job. It's just the way that you've set up your life is in alignment with these.
And that's a big reset.
Yeah.
Like,
so you just do
potentially,
one
like,
thing
to
at a
even
time.
think about that.
Yeah, because it's your life. Like, what are we rushing towards? The end
Yeah.
of what? Your life? Just, it's a journey. We just do one thing at a time. So I have a quiz, sort of a conditional logic quiz that helps people understand what would be their main fundamental that's contributing to them, and also hair testing. I do a lot of hair testing, which you girls have done as well.
I'm going to ask you about that in a minute.
But you'll be able to see then objectively, oh, okay, this is the main fundamental of mine. That is the one at play. And I've done 5 hair tests myself over the last 4 years. And the first one I got, I was like, oh, I've got these really high levels of, mine was really high copper. We don't have to get into the details, but I was like, I'm gung-ho. I'm going to get rid of them. Give me all the supplements. Give me the vitamin C infusions. Give me all this different stuff.
Because also when you're like a certain type of personality, you know, whether, you know, you're A-types, you're like, I've got to win.
Yeah.
I can do it. Let's
and I've got
go.
to bring this back into check and I've got to be great and I've got to score an A.
I wouldn't say that I'm an A-type, but yes.
You might not be, but I am.
But yes, it's sort of like, I just want to get rid of this issue. I'll do anything.
Because when you see a result,
Yes.
you're like, oh, I failed.
So hang on a second. Let's just stop a minute. So why do we do a hair test and how is that different to a blood test?
Great question. So blood test, for the vast majority of blood tests, there are some exceptions like a HbA1c for blood sugars, are a snapshot in time.
Right.
They're like, okay, what's happening right now? You could take it in the morning, you could take it at night, it's the same thing. You could take it after food. Like, we know that there's a lot of blood tests that we have to be fasted for, because that's going to impact what the levels are doing. So it's looking at snapshot in time. So if you're really bad, like you're out of the parameters, it's not going to matter when you take it. It's like, well, yeah, you really need medication or surgery. But if there's these patterns that are going on underneath the surface that we're missing the whispers, the functional side,
Yeah.
the things that we think of as normal, because they're so common, then, but we're sort of like, oh, okay, this is sort of getting a bit more annoying. This is where a hair test can be great, because if you think about your hair follicle grows from a blood supply. So it's exposed to your blood, but it's sort of like a record tape of what's been going on in your blood for the last 3 months, because you take 3 centimetres closest to the scalp. So it's looking at, okay, what's actually been going on in my blood for the last 3 months? An average. So then it's not just like snapshot in time that can tweak and change. So this is where we can really see strong patterns. And it doesn't say like, this is your insulin level, this is your estrogen level. It's not looking at that. It's looking at what's underneath that.
Because that's actually what surprised me, is I thought it would say that.
Well, it does, but when you understand how to read it.
Not in language that I understood.
But that's the thing, right? Lots of people will say to me, oh, so it's going to tell me my estrogen levels. No, it's going to tell me why your estrogen levels are doing what they're doing, because, for instance, estrogen, where's it released from? Largely the ovary. Okay, great. But how does estrogen get released? Well, there's this connection between the brain and the ovary, and all the organs in between, the adrenal glands, the liver, the gut, the pancreas, all of them have to be working well for that connection to be working well and the estrogen to be produced. So it's not just like, oh, I feel like I've got estrogen dominance and it's a hormonal thing. I'm like, okay, cool, but why? And this is where we look, oh, okay, these are the patterns underneath that are making these messages slightly tweaked to make it lower or higher. So this is where we're looking at, what does the cell have? Let's give the cell what it needs. And then all of the organs between the brain and the ovaries have what they need. Everything's working in unison. So we're not going, oh, it's a thyroid thing, or it's a this thing, it's a this thing.
Taking the pieces.
We're really going back to, they all integrate. Let's just go way back to the cell and make it a lot simpler.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this conversation, coming soon. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land of which we meet, who for centuries have shared ancient methods of healing and cared for their communities. We pay our respects to elders past and present.